Now that we've looked at the ascending pathways, we're going to look at some of our descending pathways. And there are two kind of categories, direct and indirect pathways. The direct pathways are our pyramidal tracts or our motor system or our somatic motor system. And then the indirect pathways are everything else. So when we look at our motor pathway, we think about two neurons, which I've already been talking about this, our upper motor neuron and our lower motor neuron. Our upper motor neuron starts as pyramidal cells. That's the neuron cell body located in the primary motor cortex in the cerebrum. It will then travel down to the level of the spinal cord and it will synapse with a lower motor neuron that in the ventral horn of our motor or ventral horn of our spinal cord. And then that lower motor neuron cell body is going to leave the ventral horn via the ventral root and it will directly innervate our skeletal muscle. So a lower motor neuron are all the named neuron or all the named nerves that you've learned that innervate skeletal muscles. They all come from a lower motor neuron that branched off of the spinal cord. So following these direct pyramidal pathways, we have an impulse that happens in the primary motor cortex at the level of a pyramidal neuron. And this is in the precentral gyri. It passes through the pyramidal, both lateral and ventral corticospinal tracts. So we can see in like red and pink here. It's going to directly descend without synapsing until the axon reaches the end of the tract in the spinal cord. And it's important to note that this pathway here does pass through the internal capsule. And that pathway is the pink pathway, which is the lateral corticospinal tract. So we have lateral in pink and we have ventral in red. In the spinal cord, the axons are going to synapse with inner neurons, and for specifically the lateral tract, we can see that little inner neuron here, or directly with our ventral horn motor neurons, which we can see these ventral horn or lower motor neurons in both tracts. This is a direct pathway. It's fast, it's fine, skilled movements, and we can see this listed below. There are indirect pathways summarized here. These are less high yield than the direct pathway, but still could come up. So it could be helpful to at least have a name and a function and maybe some of the key structures they go through. But I would say if you're struggling to figure out any tract, no pyramidal, no DCML, no spinothalamic, those would be the three to know.